Steve, it's that time of year. Rookie report cards. Elic Ayomanor from the Tennessee Titans, 34th pick in the 4th round. Bigger receiver, I believe, right?
Yep.
6'2" guy. What have you seen from him? As obviously there's been a lot going on in Tennessee. You have a rookie quarterback. You have a lot of change. You fired your head coach. Mike McCoy's kind of running the show now. And we've had him step into a larger role with some of the Calvin Ridley injury issues that are going on.
Well, he was starting though. He was starting before Calvin Ridley went down. He was starting out there, so he was getting the runs with the first guys. This is a tough one for me. Okay. Because this is a young guy thrusted into a role, just a little bit of information that I've gathered. Okay. Organization-wise, every pick everybody gets, and they're always excited about. You never see someone draft a guy and in the video, somebody's in there going, oh.
Yeah. It's like during National Signing Day, Steve, when the college coach comes out and he goes, we got everybody we wanted. We love our draft class. It's like, no, you didn't. There's a ton of dudes you wanted and you did not get.
Yes. Ayomanor, is a complicated deal for me because coming out of Stanford, he had 15 drops over in 2 years. And now in 2025, he has 4. Right, his best games graded out wise against the Rams, really good defense. Against Indy, really good defense. But just the inconsistency and the dropping of passes. Now, what I was saying earlier, Callahan wanted this kid. There wasn't necessarily a consensus on drafting him. There were some people who were kind of like, I'm not sure about him because he has some drops. And what I was told in the offseason, he didn't go home. He didn't fly all the way back home to the West Coast. He didn't fly to Canada. He stayed in Tennessee and worked on his craft. He was on the juggling machines. He was getting right. And at that point, man, he didn't drop a pass. Now then you go on the preseason and he dropped some passes. You go at Stanford, look at some highlights when I go back and look at my notes from college. Man, inconsistent. However, when he attacks the football and he catches it, he stresses the defense, right? 68 targets, 30 receptions, 350 yards, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, 21 first downs. Receiving yards per reception, a little bit below 12 yards a catch. But, man, he's just catchable targets. Catchable targets, 41. And where he does his work is primarily out wide, 366 snaps, 81% out wide. Only 76 times he's lined up in the slot. So they're just letting you know, he just doesn't have the hips, too upright. So just 18% of work in the slot, right? But here's a shocking thing. 17 contested catches for a big guy, but the inconsistency, only 9 catches from those 17 targets. So what I like and what I've seen from Elic is, as a 4th round pick, man, if he can get consistent, if he can do some things that really shows that he's got away from those drops, and he runs some pretty good routes, just got to have a better finish. So for me, on a grading scale, route running, I give him a B.
Okay.
Role of acceptance, I give him a C.
Why a C?
Here's why. 4th round pick, starting, opportunities to prove people wrong, and has dropped a number of passes at the wrong time.
Okay.
Right? Big dog grade, I'm going to just hit you with a nope on the star factor. Just too young, right? It's unfair to say he's going to be this or he's going to transitional grade. I got him kind of neutral. I got to, kind of align. He hasn't withdrawn from the class. It's not an incomplete. But look at everything that's going on. The head coach who drafted you, he's no longer there. The quarterback coach now is the head coach, and his Mike McCoy, his offensive philosophy is different. So you can't really say he hasn't transitioned, because what transition, when you're getting drafted, they go, hey, we're going to teach you how to be a professional. We are going to, as agency, we're going to get you prepared for the combine. We're going to get you prepared for interviews. And then, you're going, because you're going to a team, your head coach is going to get fired. We're going to also prepare you for that. They don't do that.
Yeah.
His potential, I think I give him a B on potential. Okay. So overall grade, outside of his control, not everything is his fault. So I give him a C+.
Okay. C+. Got it. Okay. I had a couple things. The way we do this, everybody. Steve gives you what everything that he's gathered. I give you what I've gathered. I'll just say pretty outstanding source on this one. What you said about the consistency came up repeatedly in my conversation. The catch consistency is a big one. It was brought up multiple times. Catch consistency issue in college still showed up for the
not
Titans
as much
in
though.
this rookie
Not
season.
as much.
Yes. I'm just saying, it still showed up. Yes.
He dropped some, and he dropped a few of them in the preseason that you just go, oh no.
Yeah. But I mean, that's tied to, hey, catch consistency needs to improve so he can reach this full potential that the Titans hope that he can get to.
Yes, sir.
You gave him a B in route running. I was told one thing: route running, obviously, the consistency in there needs to improve to reach the potential. But at the same time, I was told that he's actually, even though he needs to improve, not a bad route runner for his size. How do you feel about that? Like, yes, he needs to improve as a route runner, but he's not a bad route runner for a bigger receiver. Does that make sense?
I agree with you. He does a really good job of dropping his weight. I think that's the part of the inconsistency, is because of such a big guy, he drops his weight, gets open, and then just doesn't finish.
Yep. Okay. So that adds up. Physical. That was impressive to who I talked to. Gets after it as a run blocker, which is, I think, connected to what I believe the Titans think his role is, Steve, which is essentially a third receiver, right? And so
I see that.
Those are the things that you have to do in that as well. Good size, good strength. They thought the strength is actually pretty good. And then the other part, now this is what I was fascinated with you, and when we talk about transition and we talk about these things, thrown into when I started this off by saying, played a lot because of Ridley, and you mentioned he was starting, but more snaps than they expected because of everything, and he's kind of that rookie, breakdown by the end of the year with a lot of snaps in preseason, more snaps than they maybe anticipated in his rookie year, and you're probably seeing him wear down a little bit. Is that anything you can prepare for as a rookie, or is that just going to happen?
It's just going to happen. Everybody, right? Whether you're a rookie or veteran, you're going to hit a little bit of a lull period where you go, man, why are my legs so heavy? Right? What is going on? Okay. So that's going to happen. That's nothing you can do about that. Right? Okay. It's just managing it. Right? In basketball, they call it load management, but you can't do that in the league. You can't. You just can't. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. So I mean, this all kind of is very similar to what you kind of saw on film and what you kind of gathered, and I love that when we're on the same page, because it seems to be a better assessment of the player when we're kind of getting told similar stuff, Steve. Yeah. I mentioned the 3. I thought it was fascinating that who I talked to said he played more like a 4 or a 5. He needs to be obviously improving in that sense. We'll see what year 2 has, and we'll see if some consistency with his issues with that word, if there's that in the organization, Steve, can help obviously a player out, which he has not been granted during his rookie season in Nashville.
Yeah, he has, and that's not fair to him.
Yep. Okay. Well, hey, a 4th round pick.
Listen, with Rose Sparks, you ain't never got to get ready because they allow you to stay ready. As you become older, hey, I'm older too. And I'm also single now. So being older and being single, there's a little bit of getting back on the scene and afraid that you won't be able to perform to your excellence. So I got an opportunity to make sure that I stay ready. Got to Row with me anytime the way it comes in. Row does an excellent job of connecting you with a medical provider, and it comes straight to your door. No having to wait in line or to drive anywhere. You just sit at home, prepare, get ready, and then you can stay ready because Row will be delivering straight to your door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/89 to find out if prescription Row Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/89 for $15 off the first order. Sparks is a compounded drug product. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. For safety information, go to ro.co/safety info.
Where do we go from here, Steve, for him?
Well,
Consistency seems to be the big thing. And I don't know if you have issues and drops, do they improve? Is that something that you're just going to fight?
You want to improve, and you want to improve in your finish. But it's also the new regime, when they come in, how do they perceive you? Are they acceptant of this as a young guy, fourth-round draft pick that we can possibly develop and become a contributor? Or is it like, nah, he's not my guy. I didn't like him coming out of college, and we're going to move on. That happens.
Man, that's tough. And it's completely out of your control.
Yes, right? Like you are literally running routes, and that coach, the wide receivers coach, most of the time loves all his guys. But there's either the quarterback coach, or the offense coordinator just says, you're just missing something. And you never can prove them wrong because they're always looking to replace you. That happens. That happens. That's what they say. That's why when new coaches come in, who's the first person to go? The big names, because they say, "Oh, he's not my guy. This is not the type of person that I want at this position." And that's what these coaches are allowed to do, and they have to do that because that helps them build their case on the extension or continue to keep their job.
Rough gig, Steve. That's why I think when you're in a place of stability, it's such an advantage for everyone. You know exactly where you stand as a player.
Or it's not even sometimes stability. All right, it's kind of what I was in Carolina. Not every year was great, but I knew the people in the front office, and I knew what to expect from them, and I knew how to handle things. I knew how to maneuver, manipulate, deal with, right? And here's what I say manipulation is. Teams going to manipulate players just like players going to manipulate, where it's contract extensions, getting bonuses, or constructing a contract that's friendly for the player, but also knowing that there are some things that this team is going to ask you to do or put in your contract that they know you're never going to hit. They know you're never going to do some of the things that they're asking, which means that doesn't count towards the cap, right? And so when you have things about your contract that are very likely for you to hit, that is where you become a cap casualty. So it's a tough business. It's based off the Joneses. It's based off APY. It's based off of lower half, top end, bottom half, pay scale. So everything's a factor.